Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast, where I clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, now so welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. Basically, now this episode is going to go into, another high school experience. I had a blast from the past episode. Now it's this episode is going to talk about my attempt to try to buy a PS4 off, by saving my money. It's an attempt because it was a massive failure, bro. It was a massive failure. I ain't going to understand why. So, we're in high school. I remember what about high school is that, we get lunch money. So, basically, I never, so prior to the PS4, what game console I have? Oh, if you have listened to my game journey, you'd have known that the first game console that I got was a brick game. Brick game. And it's because my auntie bought it. I never know what I told him a Game Boy, and she bought a brick game because I assumed it was cheaper, and she knew nothing about games that time. And the next thing that I got was a SP, Nintendo SP, and I did. I supposed to I got the PSP, but it was really late. I don't remember when I got get the PSP. I don't remember if it was before the PS4 or after the PS. No, it wasn't after the PS4. It was before the PS4. So I got the PSP. But for the PS4 now, boom, we're in high school and thing. So we are all gamers. All my friends are gamers, and we try to play things like Call of Duty on our laptops. So I had a laptop, so that's where playing Call of Duty, and we played things like Halo and such. But what happened now was, people always talking about they have the console and they play this and that, because most of the game that, the friend who introduced us to Call of Duty played on a console, so most time when they're talking about game, they're talking about it from playing from a console and such. So if we couldn't get it on a computer, we never had it. The friend group didn't have it, only for the people that could buy had the consoles. So basically, the PS4 is coming up and such, and two of my friends, three of our friends said okay, they're getting the PS4 when it comes out and such, and they said, but then this time that friend group was closer. We usually play the basketball team and such, so we're kind of close. So and such, because it's not 8th grade, it's around grade 9 or grade 10 or grade 11. So we were pretty close then. No, it was after grade 9. I know it was after grade 9. So I'm most likely to be maybe grade 10 or 11. So basically, boom, we said okay, they want to buy the PS4 when it comes out. So the price of the PS4, I was, I think, $4.95, either $4.99 or $3.99 or something like that. So in Jamaican dollars, that would be as a good amount of money. But the thing is, so we started school September, and the PS4 is dropping around, I think, the end of October. So the plan is if we save a X amount of money from September to the end of October, each of us, and the thing was like a partner, like how I don't know the international equivalent of a partner plan, but it's like, uh, but the essence is basically boom, we are putting money together and such. And the thing is that we are saving, putting the same money together. So every week we are saving X amount of money. So what happens is, because it's the four of us, when we save together, the amount of money that it will reach, or the amount of money to buy a PS4, it will come 4 times quicker than one person saving up towards it. So basically, what happens is basically by the plan is by the end of by the start of by when the PS4 is dropped, the amount of money all of us would be saved up would have enough money to buy one PS4, but it's all of us is saving up, and then boom, then we'll all have to save up again, keep on putting money and such, and then buy the next PS4, and then that's basically the partner plan. The plan is we are putting a set amount of money towards like a same bank account, and then we use that money to buy the PS4. But we didn't really understand that, What happened is two of the person understood that, but me and the other person never really understand that was the case. I never understand that we're basically who is lucky enough to buy the console first. We are basically saving up to buying it for them, and then we have to sacrifice and continue until it's our turn. So we never understood that, but we like the idea. So basically what happened now, basically we have the amount of money we're trying to save. So my plan is now, okay, I'm going to start make lunch from home. So I tell my mother that, okay, I'm going to start make lunch from home and carry to school, but doing that, but she basically gave me the same money. But what happened is, so I have lunch to carry to school, and I basically have more money to save. So that was the plan. So what I usually do now, I make sausage sandwich. We made some sandwich I carry to school. So that's basically the plan. I'm going to eat sandwich for lunch every day and save up this money, and eventually I have my PS4. That would basically be my first console, and I'll finally be one of those people, in the console wars. So for the first week, I went through the first week. Every lunchtime, I was hungry as hell. By the time lunchtime ends, I'm hungry. Like literally, the sandwich did nothing, bro. I was dying of hunger every day for that week. I will actually save it up now. Boom. Next day with the lunch, hungry. I'm like, what the hell is like? What happened is, I'm eating the switch from having a nice box food to a sandwich was a huge downgrade. So, I'm basically starving every lunchtime. So I starve out the first week up to lunchtime now, and then I reach end of the lunch time. We reach up the end of the week, and we save up the set amount of money. So all of us now come together and said, the person who came up with the idea now say, okay, boom, we must give him the money now. I'm like, so we're like saying, what? What do you mean? It's like no, is what I'm explaining to you earlier is what he's going to explain now. So it's basically saying that, what happened is basically we save up the money, and then boom, we give me, and then I put it away, and then we do the other week, and over time what happened is, when I reach set amount where we can draw the money and then buy the PS4. And it's like we never understood it. So can I say what does it make the sense that we just basically save our money on our own? And it's like he's like saying no, because if we do it that way, it will take longer. If we put it in the plan, what happens is basically we reach up to the $4.99 price mark quicker for one person, then buy it and such. So by the plan is basically by January of the next year, everybody would have a PS4, you know, but we'll have to put it in this plan. It's like so, so basically, though, we are the other person start to look at this plan and be like, yo, this plan really is really sketchy, you know. Is not, is that what we really I had in mind, you know. I never really understand the plan. So basically, they're trying to explain it and such, you know. It's like what Richard Palmer said. Oh, I get what you're saying about we're I'm going to start my way out to buy somebody else a PS4 first, you know. So the thing is, what I was saying is that it's like how we know who is the first person going to buy a PS4 for. When we could answer that question, though, you know, we had the other person pull out, I would say, yeah, you know, it never make any sense. So we pulled out, they continued, and what happened is basically they I think their side is they reach half the money and then their parents put up the other half or something like that. But eventually they did got the PS4, and I didn't get it until way until I started university in my third year, second year going to third. So the summer of second year going into the first semester of the third year. Cause if you remember, that was a part of the third year fiasco. Me getting that PS4, going on the campus playing Overwatch. Yeah. So they had it a long time for me playing Overwatch and saying, yo, really, I wish you had the PS4 to get on and playing Overwatch. I'd be like, yo, I said, I'm going to just do well in second semester. And just ask when my family is praising me. I say, yeah, man, you did very well in second semester. I said, okay, cool. Can I just use that to get, can I use it and buy some, buy me a PS4? And that was the plan. That's how it went. And one they actually did. So that's why I eventually got the PS4. It was late, but. And your question is, where is that PS4 now? And I don't have it. That's the sad thing. I gave it to one of my family members. I generally did not know what was going through my mind that time. I was trying to be mature, and my maturity was saying, put the games away and time to start upgrade. I was trying to get out of my grandmother's place, so get rid of the PS4 was in my head at the time as a big boy thing to do. Boy, that was stupid. But I'm on my grind now, so hopefully I can get maybe the PS5 or something else. I get my PC fixed or a new PC, so I'm back on the yeah. So that's basically how I attempted to try to buy a PS4 with my lunch money. It was a big failure, but at least we tried. I tried, and I can. One thing I can learn from that is that saving towards something is really a hard, because it's one thing you realize that saving money is really, with how money is now, saving for something is always is one of those bad things. It is always a bad idea. You have to you have to just can build up your purchasing power up to that level. You know, if you have someone that is at that purchasing level that can buy it for you, that's good and all. But if you're saving towards it, it's better to just work your way up to that purchasing level and then just buy it straight out instead of trying to save up towards it, because it will always be an uphill battle. So that's basically it for this episode. Thanks for listening. I look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Thing that I mentioned in one of my previous episodes, it came to pass, and it's one of those things where I kind of mentioned in another episode. It's best to kind of talk through your ideas and such, so that when the problem do occur, you're already prepared for it. One of these problems that came up is the leaking roof, because if you are mentioned from a few episodes back, I mentioned that we're in the rain season, and I guess the rain season has been pretty hectic to the point that it starts to kind of affect the roof, but it's not that bad, not that bad, but it starts to. But luckily, I have a professional that came and look and us